For the victims, I think this is a slap in the face for the victims. I think this is going to deter victims from coming forward and telling their story and being the voice for the voiceless, in the sense of representing other victims that are not willing to come forward. I know that for a fact, I'm sure that the prosecution right now is very upset with this verdict, because they definitely put a lot of time into this prosecution, into this investigation. And they also did a lot of comforting of trying to give strength to these women, to Jane and to Cassie, to come forward, to show their face.
Now, for those of y'all who are somehow out of the loop about the recent shenanigans happening with Diddy's trial, the jurors just failed all his victims and pissing even out their life in major danger after they found him not guilty on 3 charges out of the 5 he was facing, and that includes his RICO charge, which everyone and their mama knows was the most serious one on the list. The first thing Diddy did was try to get himself out of jail, but posting up bail, but once again, the judge was not on his side and that bail was denied. When he initially got off the RICO charge, his son was outside the courthouse yapping about how his daddy was going to be coming home, and Diddy fans were also doing the absolute most by dancing and pouring baby oil all over themselves, but the judge humbled them quickly when he denied that bail. He reminded them that yes, he may have gotten off on the RICO, but he is still guilty of the transportation for peace-stitution, which he stands to serve 20 years in prison for. In fact, immediately news broke about his verdict, Cassie started panicking and she begged the judge through the lawyer to not let Diddy out on bail because she was afraid that he would soin the block on her and the other witnesses who took the stand and make them pay. In a letter to the judge, her lawyer said, "We write as counsel for Cassandra Ventura to respectfully request that the court deny Mr. Combs to be released pending his sentencing on his 2 convictions. Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself, as well as to the community." Luckily for her, the judge was also on the page and denied the bail, claiming that Diddy is a threat to the witnesses who took the stand and even the ones who may have not gotten on the stand, but have information on him that he doesn't want them having. And as if all this mess wasn't already enough, Cassie also now had to deal with Diddy's unhinged fans her and some celebrities making posts to bash her. Can you imagine finally standing up to your abuser only for him to get acquitted of the charges, and now you have clueless people on the internet using their platform to call you a liar while simultaneously trying to keep your family safe? Diddy going around and intimidating victims isn't anything new. In fact, that was the whole reason why his 3 attempts to get bail were denied when he was initially arrested last year. During his first attempt, he posted bail of $50 million along with his $48 million home in Miami, he and his family's passports, GPS monitoring, restricted traveling, and his mother's properties, but the judge turned it down and made him sit his tail in that jail, but Diddy was right back at it again. And once again, he offered $50 million as well as house arrest and no access to internet, phones, or women, but the judge denied it again, and his reason was he couldn't trust that Diddy would not go after the witnesses to attack it, intimidate them. Diddy tried again the 3rd time with the same conditions as the first 2, and the answer was still a hell no. Not as I said, aside from Cassie having to fear for the safety of her family, she also has to deal with a lot of celebrities coming for her. The first was Diddy's golden shower princess, Young Miami, who posted a gif of Justin Bieber doing the clock sign to celebrate Diddy being free. Mind you, she was just on her show crying with Santana last year because people were dragging her for her involvement with Diddy, but now she wants to be brave and troll Cassie. The king of ignorance himself, Lil Bosey, stepped into the chat and made this about the industry wanting to take down a successful black man instead of focusing on the fact that Diddy committed actual crimes that affected the lives of a lot of people.
Man, I'm so glad Diddy free, bro. You know, the reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. And I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this for people, you know, I know he ain't paid people, but if he done all this for hip-hop, if he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man losing his life behind a relationship, you know. And people always, Boosie was on Diddy's side. Nah, it ain't that. It's because I'm thinking about 7 children. Y'all thinking about one person. I'm thinking about these 7 kids who been in my kid's position. Not knowing if your daddy gonna come home or not is a burden on the child.
This is a lie, by the way, because no white person was going to be in the street protesting if Diddy was a white mom. Boosie just made that up and ran with it. No white folks were on the streets screaming for Epstein to be released because at the end of the day, everyone understood that he committed real crimes and had to be looked up irrespective of his race, something that Boosie cannot seem to do. Funk Flex Funky Self also got his Instagram, and he went off on Cassie for dragging Diddy through this mess when she knew she was actually a willing participant all along. He said she should stop pushing for Diddy not to be released and allowed him to come home to his family because he didn't do anything wrong to her. I think Cassie has been through a lot, especially at a young age. She is such a nice person and always gave off good energy. Hope her and her family overcome all of the pain they are going through. The entertainment business is a dangerous environment that everyone is not built for. I do think you and your lawyers should give it a rest. You threatened to drop a book, then got paid out to not drop the book. If you cared so much to get your message out, you would have dropped the book. I get it. It's a case. You had to testify. You 30 million up and 10 million up from hotel. You planned this lick. Please don't be mad at me, but I don't see you as a victim. You was young. Diddy made bad choices and you made bad choices. When do you plan to teach girls not to make the same mistakes you made? Unfortunately, Diddy not being allowed bail still isn't enough for Cassie to feel safe because word on the street is the FBI has helped her and get family relocate to a new place, and they plan to offer her 24-hour security till Diddy's sentencing in October. Apparently, if he succeeds in getting out, Cassie might have to permanently move to a whole other country with her family because of the Diddy poses to her life. And one thing we now know about Diddy is that he doesn't need to physically be somewhere to cause harm. He has people on his payroll willing to do it for him. As usual, people had their own thoughts, like this person who said, "Thank you, God. I honestly believe if he was released, he would hurt her at some point. He never expected betrayal from her. And I fully believe after she basically humiliated him and aired their entire business out on Front Street and aired out his dirty laundry for the whole world to see, he would have done something in some way to cause harm to her." Another person said, "I think now it's too much attention, so if she end up unalive, we all know who was behind it. But when Kim was unalive, most PPL didn't know he was capable of it, so the fingers weren't being pointed at him by the public." But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of Cassie running for her life? And do y'all really think Diddy will come for her when he gets out, or it'll be too obvious that he was behind it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.